Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Creative Podcast. It's your host, Kayla here. I'm a little, rusty. It's been a couple weeks since I've talked to y'all. I miss you. Of course, we're gonna start off with the opening line, and this week it is, I'm no longer trying to find myself. Instead, I am creating myself because I am not lost. I have endless potential. I found that on Pinterest, and I feel like I've just been seeing things just surrounding like creating yourself and not finding yourself kind of everywhere. But there you have it. I also wanted to thank you all for 500 plays. That's the total overall. I think it's a little bit more than that. I think it was like 515 amount of listens that I have gotten to these episodes, and I am beyond grateful. That's literally halfway to 1,000. That's crazy to me that like you guys have listened to my episodes that much, and you guys listen to me freaking blabber about whatever's on my mind that much, and you're interested. So I really appreciate everyone who listens every 2 weeks when these episodes come out. And I'm really excited to keep making them for y'all and talking with you all and discussing things going on in my little brain. And since we're here, I'm just gonna, let you all know that you should definitely review this podcast if you haven't already on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, because that will grow this little community, and we need more girlies here, okay? More people, more. What am I saying? Okay. This is the longest intro ever. And my socials are below as always. My Instagram, my YouTube, my Pinterest, I'm pretty sure is down there, as well as a couple of brands that you guys should definitely support that I love, small businesses, female owned. So yeah, okay. That's enough freaking blabbering. Let's get to the highs and lows and the to-dos. I'm so rusty. I completely forgot to tell you all the name of this episode, but you already read it. It's the power of being a Black woman. That's what we're discussing today. All right, so the highs and lows. My highs of this week, I have been manifesting heavily for the full and new moon. Today's July 14th, so yesterday was the 13th and it was the full moon, and today's the new moon. And I don't know, I've just been in the mood to like follow the moon phases a little bit more and like pay more attention to those things. I usually don't. I'm usually just like, whatever, the moon is there, it's mooning, and that's all I need to know. But this time I've been like, I don't know, just the past month I've been like more in tune with the phases of the moon and things of that nature. And oh my gosh, my phone just fell. Sorry, I'm recording a visual and my phone is tripping. Anyways, yeah, I've been more into that. And the manifesting thing, I feel like I've kind of been building up to it over time, just like thinking about things that I want and like, I don't know, just making sure that I'm checking in with myself and making sure that like what I'm asking God for and what I'm praying for and what I'm putting out into the universe is actually in alignment with who I am and what I really, really want for myself, not just things that I think I should want or things that other people tell me I should want, So I've just been like, over the past couple of months, really figuring out myself a little bit, at least in this season of my life, and like my intentions and my goals moving forward. So that's been really cool. I finally registered for my classes for this fall. Last week I went to my orientation at FIU. I'm going to Florida International University. Okay. So that's cool. I'm really freaking excited to be at like an actual university. If you don't know, I have been going to community college for the past couple of years, actually more than a couple of years, but like whatever, I digress. You can listen to my episode about my academic history. It's somewhere in this catalog of episodes. But yeah, I'm really freaking excited to be a Panther. You feel me? Claws up. That's what they be saying. So yeah. And I'm glad I finally registered for my classes because I was really confused on what I was going to do. I wasn't sure if I was going to do like mostly online, mostly in person, half online, half in person. Like I just had no idea what was going on. So now I figured it out. I registered. We're set, locked, ready to go for this fall. So wish me luck on all my classes. I'm taking a science this semester because I needed to take an extra science. And child, I don't want to take a science, but I'm trying to have good positive energy going into it so then I get the most out of it. I learn whatever it is that I need to learn about science, even though I really don't need to learn about science because for what? But like whatever, fine. Okay. The next high of this week is I'm gonna interview to be on the executive board for the Black Student Union at FIU. If you don't know, I started my own chapter of the Black Student Union at my high school, which was a challenge, but it was so much fun, and I really miss that community. Like I miss just stepping into a room full of Black people. I don't know what it is about it. Well, I'll kind of break it down in this episode, but it just feels good. It feels like home. It feels comfy. It feels cozy. It feels like I don't know, like I could be like my best self in a room full of Black people. I don't know if that make any sense, but for the girls who get it, they get it, you know? Okay, and the last high for this week. Well, why did I brush past that? Sorry if I keep pausing. I am coughing. I have a cold. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. I'm really excited to be on the executive board. I know they're going to let me on the executive board. They're going to do an interview and I have to dress in like business casual or whatever. And this is for the social media and marketing position. And like, hello, like I started my own Black Student Union. I run my own social media platforms. Like, I feel like it's kind of a given that I'm on the board. So, yeah, that's just me, like, already putting it into the universe. It's already in existence. I'm already on the executive board, and I'm really freaking excited about it. So, yeah. And lastly, I figured out what I wanted to do with my YouTube. I felt like I was in a bit of a rut with it, and I was just like, I feel too much pressure to produce too much content. So what I decided to do is post bi-weekly, just like how I post the podcast. So I'm gonna try and do like the weeks that I do a podcast, I don't post on YouTube, and the weeks that I put out a YouTube video, I don't post a podcast, and alternate like that. And I feel like that's gonna be really good for me, and it's gonna like release that pressure for me to just post every week on YouTube, when it's just really, I feel like it's really like not even necessary at this point in my YouTube journey. You know, I feel like regardless of how many times I post, I pretty much get the same amount of views on most of my videos. And the same people keep coming back, you know, if I post bi-weekly or if I post weekly. So it's like, I don't really get the point in me putting more pressure on myself to post every week, and me lowering the quality of my videos because I'm trying to meet this like quota to post weekly. Like, I feel like the post weekly thing is just a bunch of BS that YouTube put out to make people put more content on their platform so they can make more money, so people can spend more time on their platform, you know, but it's just like, it's not working for me as a creator. So I'm gonna do what works for me. So yeah, into my lows for the week. So I don't know about y'all, but these past few days, these past couple of weeks have just been long. They've been lengthy. Like, days feel like years. Like, July has just been the longest month of my life. Like, I feel like all the other months in the year kind of were just going, you know? And now I'm in July and I'm like, this ain't over yet? Like, what? Like, 4th of July felt like a month ago. And that was literally last week. Like, insanity. Absolute insanity. I don't know what's going on. But, I mean, the good part of that is I feel like I've been getting a lot of things done and figuring out a lot of things that I need to figure out. And just a lot of things have been happening. Okay, drama and lots of things have been happening. But I'll spill the tea on that at a later date when I'm not in the thick of it. Into the thick of it. Into the thick of it. Into the thick of it. Ugh. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm finished. Gosh, crackhead energy today. I'm a little rusty. Y'all gonna have to excuse me. I'm a little rusty from the podcasting. It's been a couple weeks, okay? Especially since I've done this by myself. So the last low is I have a cold. Like, I don't know if you could tell, my freaking voice is all weird and, like, my throat is scratchy and I want to cough every 2 seconds and I need to blow my nose and I'm sneezing and, it's just a lot. But it's annoying, but I'm also appreciative because it's like I get unwarranted rest and, like, time off from work, you know? It's not that I wanted to have a cold so then I could have time off from work, but it's just, I guess it's a bittersweet benefit, you know? I feel, but I am getting much needed rest that I probably would not have taken myself, had I not been sick. So, yeah. But I'll probably get over it within the next couple of days. It's progressed pretty quickly anyways. And my to-dos for the week, not really anything crazy. I need to clean my turtles tank. You know, caring for my turtles is a form of caring for myself. If I'm not caring for my turtles, then I feel like I'm not caring for myself. Same thing with my plants. If I'm not watering my plants, I feel like I'm not watering myself. So that's why I have turtles. That's why I chose to, like, buy turtles and just, like, care for them. And that's why I chose to, like, buy plants and care for them, because it's just a little reminder for me to, like, be there for myself and be there for them and, like, not neglect myself, because if I start neglecting them, then they'll die, obviously. And if I neglect myself, then I'll die inside, obviously. So yeah, I need to clean their tank and take care of themselves so they can swim and, you know, like, do whatever they do. And I want to start cooking again for the work week. It's been legitimately, like, going on 3 weeks or a month since I have cooked anything for the work week. I usually meal prep and, like, make a couple of lunches for myself so then I don't have to worry about what I'm gonna eat. But child, I have just been winging it the past few weeks. I've just been saying whatever comes up, you know. I haven't been eating breakfast consistently. I haven't been eating lunch consistently. I've just been kind of all over the place with it. That might be a reason why I came down with a cold, because my immune system is not kicking the way that it should be because I'm not feeding myself. So I need to get back on that. I need to get back on my schedule of things. Life has just been a little crazier this summer, so I haven't been sticking to my schedule like normal, but that's okay. Things ebb and flow. Everything isn't going to be structured all the time, and I have to remember that and be gentle with myself about it, you know, not be too hard on myself. But I do want to try to get back into the swing of that this week. And I already know what I want to make. I want to make pasta with broccoli. I'm pretty sure I bought the broccoli. Honestly, I can't remember if I did. Yes, I did. I bought broccoli. So I want to make fettuccine with broccoli and garlic bread, which I already have, so I don't even have to go to the grocery store. I literally only have been back to the grocery store this week since like 3 weeks ago. And it wasn't even because I wanted to go on my own accord. It was because I needed to go get something for my mom. So, you know, whatever. But we're getting back into the swing of things. All right. So, enough of me chit-chatting and updating y'all on my life and things going on. Let's talk about the power of being a Black woman. Yes. Okay, so one thing I'm not going to do is entertain the idea of this episode being about me putting down women of other colors, women of other races, backgrounds, and ethnicities. If that's what you think this episode is about, you can just stop listening here, honestly, because I don't have the time nor the energy to break that complex down for you. That's something you're going to have to figure out yourself. So, yeah. With that being said, first off, I want to talk about the obvious. We are freaking beautiful. Black women, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful creatures, okay? Gosh, our hair literally grows towards the sun like a plant. We are like, we're like freaking plants. Our skin absorbs energy from the sun. Our hair grows towards the sun. And we're freaking astounding. We're astounding. Our bodies are literally the strongest, softest, most beautiful vessels. Like, there's nothing like looking at a black woman. Like, sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, girl, your skin is skinning. Your hair is doing more than hairing. The fro, you just don't understand. You just don't understand. Our skin, it literally glows. It glistens. It lights up a room. It's like the warmest, like, kindest, just comforting thing. Like, just look at my skin. It's freaking brown. Like, that's amazing. That's a privilege. Like, so many people do not have brown skin. They don't look at their skin and it's not like glowing in brownness and richness and just goodness and warmth. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh gosh, I'm so appreciative for my brown, beautiful skin. It's so brown and so soft. I love it. And my hair, like, it's so rough. It's so kinky. It's so rickety, but I love it. I love how rough it is. I love that it's not conventional. I love that I'm one of just a small portion of people on this earth who can grow hair that doesn't fall flat, that extends to the heavens, you know, like, oh, that is such a privilege. That's such an honor. That's such a right. Like, I feel like people don't understand that. I feel like black people don't understand that. We're just like, sometimes we just get so used to, like, the negativity that surrounds being black and how people view us and how people treat us. But oh my gosh, like, think about it. Like, there's power in being the quote-unquote minority. I say quote-unquote because I'm really not sure if black people really are the minority anymore. I feel like we're becoming the majority, which is kind of causing a lot of political problems in the United States, because the whites are just not okay with us becoming the majority. But that's okay. That's, you know, whatever. We won't get into that today. That's for another day. But yeah, like, I feel like we just, I don't know, we just go about our day to day and we're like, whatever, I'm black, you know, I gotta deal with this problem, I gotta deal with these people, I gotta deal with this issue. And we so rarely get to sit down and actually look at ourselves and appreciate ourselves for being, like, literally, like, the rarity, being like the diamonds in the freaking rough, being so different from most people on this earth, you know, like having characteristics and features and just everything that make us, like, stand out, you know. It's oh gosh, it's something beautiful. We are freaking beautiful. We are. Okay, next point, because I can go on and on about that. We are the blueprint in so many ways. Like, the way that our family structures were before the whites got involved was like a blueprint for how a family structure is in America today. And like our designs and our trends and our fashion and our body types and our body shapes and our physical features and our spiritual practices, even, like, we are the freaking blueprint for America. I won't talk about anywhere else, but for Western America, like, we're the freaking blueprint. Like, in just so many ways, and it's astounding. Like, Hot Girl Summer. Who came up with Hot Girl Summer? Who now uses Hot Girl Summer? Everyone. But who came up with it? Okay, I rest my case. Baby hairs. Ooh, don't get me started on baby hairs. I have had an issue, not an issue, but I've just had like a thing with baby hairs, because growing up, I would see black women with baby hairs all the time. Like, this is just a thing that we would do, you know, laying our edges, making cute little swirls or whatever. But then I started to see it come up with other people, you know, of other backgrounds, and, you know, it's like, okay, I get it, you know, baby hairs are cute and everything, but like, I don't know, you know, it feels a little appropriative, it feels like a little copy and paste, I'm not gonna lie, like, but whatever, you know, it's just us being the blueprint. Big hoops, long nails, you feel me? Street style, okay? Black women establish these things in American culture. R&B, you know, heavily carried by black women. It's just like, we have started so much, and we are so like open to sharing our art and our creativity and the way that we express ourselves with the world, and we're so open with like other people, and like we're okay with people copying us, you know, like we've always kind of been okay with that, and we've always kind of been okay with people finding themselves and finding ways to express themselves through our culture. We've always been fine with that. And there's a lot of power in that. There's a lot of negativity in that, but there is also a lot of power in that we are so willing to, this is getting into my next point, we're willing to share and give all of ourselves to this world while getting nothing in return. And this has changed in recent years, and rightfully so, because black women deserve a lot more credit than we get from American society, at least. No, from society in general, the whole world. We, for centuries, haven't gotten the credit that we deserve. And now we're finally asking for it. But for all this time, we've just willingly given ourselves. We've given our time. We've given our energy. We've given our love. We've given our creativity. We've given our recipes, even like down to the tiniest things. We've given our tips and tricks. We've given our family values. We've given so much to this world for them to just copy it and paste it and remarket it and appropriate it and gentrify it and profit off of it, only for us to not get not even half of what we deserve in return. And this is something that I struggle with on a daily, but I'm just trying to find the beauty in it. Just in the fact that one day we will. I know that one day we will get what we deserve, and I know that one day we will have, I don't know, it's just like karma. Like, it's the karmic energy, as the astrology girls say. It's just a feeling that I have deep down that everything that we have given will have given back to us and more. And I feel like that's a really important thing to remember as a Black woman. Like, you may feel like you're depleted. You may feel like nothing ever works out for you the way that it should. You may feel like you give too much, in which you probably do because society demands so much from us. But best believe you are deserving of so much more than you get. And we gonna get ours one day. And I just know it because we work for it. We do. We really freaking do. But there is power in your selflessness. There is power in that. And don't feel like, how can I say this? Don't feel like, oh gosh, there's literally a fortune that I read yesterday. No kind act ever goes unwasted. So don't feel like you being yourself is like wasted. Like, there's no waste in that. You know, as long as you're not overextending yourself, as long as you're not pushing yourself beyond your limits, like, don't let society or even other Black people tell you, like, girl, you doing too much, girl, you this, girl, you that, you giving too much, you blah, blah, blah. If this is something that you feel called, if, like, whatever you're doing, whatever you're putting yourself into is something that you feel called to do and something that your intuition is telling you to do, something that God is telling you to do, like, don't let the world and how the world doesn't appreciate you as a Black woman, don't let that stop you from your calling and like what you're supposed to be doing. I hope that makes sense. Like, I feel like there is a lot of pushback happening now, which is really good for us as Black women, you know, for us to finally start getting what we deserve and the recognition and the praise and the profit and everything that we deserve. But at the same time, I feel like there is a negativity in it, and it's kind of telling us to like hold back and like not go where we're intended to go and not do what we're intended to do just because we may not get what we deserve in return. Well, we have never gotten what we deserve in return, okay? It's always been that way, you know? Not saying that it's okay that we haven't, but just to say that, like, don't let the possibility that you might not get what you deserve stop you from doing what you're meant to do in your life. That's my main point. And I feel like I take this with me in my day-to-day, and I feel like this is something that's kind of like, I don't know, it's like a main building block in the foundation of my life. Like, no matter how people see me, no matter how people treat me, I'm gonna continue to do what I do. I'm gonna continue to carry myself the way I'm gonna carry myself, regardless of what the world does to me. And, you know, I'm gonna take care of myself in the process. I'm not gonna deplete myself, but I'm also not gonna hold back. You all right? My mom just walked in. But yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. She threw me off so bad. She's like, "Are you all right?" I don't know if I sound like I'm yelling at somebody or crying or something. She's just like, "Are you okay?" Yeah. So, this brings me into my next point, since my mother just walked in. We are mothers and healers, y'all. Not to say that it's our job to heal the world, but we have the ability to. And there is something extremely special in that. Extremely special. We don't have to, and we owe it to no one to be anyone's mother, unless obviously we have children, or anyone's healer, but we have the ability to do that. And that is a powerful, powerful, almost like a weapon. And not weapon in a bad sense. Not saying like weaponizing our healing abilities and our mothering nature, you know. But like, it's like a sword and like a shield, you know, like we know that we have it. Like we can feel it. It's within us. I probably sound crazy. I probably sound like one of those freaking crazy black people on the internet who are like grand rising great ones, you know. Like it's true. Like we do have that ability. Like I've seen it. And like we've had to be the backbone for our communities and for our family structures for hundreds and hundreds of years while, you know, black men were being tormented and are being tormented. We've had to play both roles most of the time. So we've had to be both the mother and the healer, both the father and the, you know, comforter and all of the above. And it's been a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I can feel it. Like, I can feel it in my veins. Just how much my ancestors and the women before me have had to pour into people just to keep themselves alive, just to survive, just to keep their loved ones alive and afloat. And it's taxing. It's taxing. I don't know if y'all have seen this thing come out. A study was done about like how generational trauma is like, it's like biological. It's like hereditary. It can be passed on, you know. And I feel like it's especially strong in black women. Like it's something that we probably carry more than anyone else, to be honest. And just like women of color in general, we carry it deep. We got it deep, okay? Because, you know, our men have had to been on the front lines a lot of movements, and not to say that women haven't been on the front lines, but historically men have been tormented. Black men have been tormented in a way that has taken them away from the family, in a way that has taken them away from normality, and in turn it's taken black women away from normality, and we've had to like pour ourselves into our family and into our lives, I don't know, just a lot more than white women have, for instance, you know, like white women, for the most part, have had the privilege of having their men by their side and not having to take the role and responsibility of being mother and healer. You know, they have been able to just be mother, or they have been able to just be healer. You know, they don't have to take the role of being a father and a mother, you know, and being a wife and a mother and a father. Like, imagine that. Imagine being a black woman, being married to a man, a black man, and you have to be a wife, a mother, and a father. And sometimes a daughter, all at the same time, you know, because if your parents are still living, then you still have to care for them, you know? So it's like, gosh, we are really just at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to ourselves, and we're just now like getting around to doing the work to care for ourselves and put ourselves first, instead of always being there to heal and comfort and mother others. We're starting to learn how to heal and comfort and mother ourselves and put that energy towards ourselves finally, because we freaking needed it, okay? But yeah, it's been hard for us. Like, we have really carried like the weight of our families on our back. And that's a really powerful thing. That's really amazing. Like, that's crazy to me. I'm just sitting here, oh gosh, I can't fathom. Like, my mother has had to raise me, raise my brother, raise my sister. She's had to raise herself in the process. She was 20 years old when she had me. She had to raise herself in the process. She had to be a daughter in the process to my grandmother. She had to learn how to be a partner in a relationship and a wife. And like, she is such a freaking powerful beast of a woman. And she's also learned how to be a boss and like be her own like entrepreneur and like start her own companies and things like that. And it's just like, it's insane, because I cannot imagine having to do that. I cannot imagine having a kid and having to raise myself and raise that kid and be a daughter to my mom, and you know, like, God forbid the kid's dad isn't in our lives, and then I have to like be a father to my kid. Like, that's so much, and it's so crazy that this is something that Black women, most of all out of everyone in the world, have had to deal with and have had to do so much longer than everyone else. And we're still here kicking. We're still here glowing. We're still here being our beautiful, wonderful, passionate, expressive selves. And we're still so willing to have these hearts of gold no matter what. You know, like, that's amazing. So yeah. My next point. We're extreme empaths. Okay? We can feel for other people. Like, I feel like on a whole nother level. Just our intuitiveness, just how connected we are with our intuition, just how much we know and understand about ourselves and about others and how others feel and how we feel. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like the way that Black women handle our empathy and our intuitiveness is just like, I feel like it's a little bit different from how other people handle it. Like, I know that a Black woman can read me better than anyone else can read me. You know what I'm saying? Like, just from being raised by a Black woman, I feel like, you know, I feel like they could just sense things, you know, like, so many times I've just been in public or like at school or whatever, and if I'm having a bad day, like, an older Black woman that I come in contact with or come across, she just like, she says words of encouragement just out of nowhere, just to like lift me up, because she can just like feel my low energy. She can feel how down I am. You know, it's an amazing, beautiful, crazy thing. It's like a sixth sense. I don't know. Whereas other people maybe wouldn't like pick up on it as quickly. Or I've seen so many times, like, just how Black women will like step in and like raise people up, especially in the school system. Like, the Black women in the school system, incredible. Okay, incredible. Underpaid, incredible queens. Because they can sense things with their students. Like, if you have ever had a Black female teacher, you freaking know, okay? When you walk into that classroom, your teacher is feeling you in a different way than your other teachers. You know the difference. I know that you know the difference. Like, they know what you're feeling. They know what you're going through. And they're, in a way, they are like carrying that a little bit. In a way, they're feeling it too, for you. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, I've had a conversation with a Black female teacher who was really prevalent in my life, and just the way that she would talk about her students and the way that she just knew what her students were going through without even having to ask them, without even having to ask around about them, just the way that she knew what was going on in their lives and she knew how to show up for them and be there for them. It's incredible just how connected we are with other people and how connected we are with ourselves in that way. And that's like how we're able to be such healers, because we just know, we could just feel it, And another thing that is powerful about us Black women is our community. There's nothing like walking into a room full of Black women. I promise you. Like, I don't know what it is. Because we know and understand each other, and we know and understand the experiences that we've lived better than anyone else on this earth can. It's just a beautiful, beautiful community. Like, of course, there's some, iffy areas in it, because, I don't know, some women are just weird. They're jealous and they're a little conniving and whatever. Everyone has that within their communities, I feel like. But for the most part, like, Black women go hard for each other. We be there for each other like nobody else. We really do. We will do anything for each other, okay? And I love that about us. I love that we're not, like, I feel like sometimes other communities of women are a little bit more competitive with one another, especially when it comes to, like, men and stuff like that. But I feel like because of the way that our family structures have kind of been in America, just the way that we've had to show up for each other when the men in our lives weren't necessarily there. It's been an amazing, beautiful community that's formed, I feel like, because of that. Like, sure, it's sad that we've had to fill in those gaps for ourselves, but, like, that's just shown, like, the kind of sisterhood and the kind of bond that we have for each other, and the kind of, I don't know, just, like, growth that we can have as a whole, just relying on each other. Like, I don't know if y'all have seen the movie The Help, but if you haven't, you should definitely go watch it. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Viola Davis kills it. But just her and her relationship with Minnie, her best friend, in that movie is, I feel like, a true testament to, like, how Black women will show up for each other. Minnie had a husband, but her husband was not all the way there, and I could tell there was just a lot of mental health issues and tormenting going on, and Viola Davis's character was able to step in for Minnie and be there for her, and then Minnie was able to step in and be there for her when Viola Davis, she didn't have a husband and she didn't have a son and she was alone, and we just, like, we show up for each other in a different way than I feel like most people show up for each other, and I freaking love it. We stand. Alright, so I just wanted to share this little story with you all. This is something that happened to me, like, a couple weeks ago. So I was at a stoplight, and a guy, like, stopped next to me and put his back window down, okay? He was, like, ahead of me, and I was in the lane next to him, kind of, like, behind him. And he put his back window down. And usually I don't entertain, like, the things like this, but he was, like, telling me to put mine down, and I was like, okay. So I put mine down, and he pointed at me, and he looked me dead in my eyes, and he said, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." I was like, what the heck? Who is you? But things like this have happened to me before, where people just, like, it feels like divine intervention when people just, like, tell me something that I need to know, and I really needed it in that moment. Like, I was feeling down. And he looked at my afro, and he was like, "Is that your real hair? All of it?" And I get this all the time. And I was like, yeah. And I smiled. And he was like, "Don't let nobody tell you nothing about cutting it. Like, that's good. Be different. Like, be yourself." And he told me, be blessed and take it easy. And he said he wasn't trying to be nosy or anything like that. It's just he felt like he had to say it. He was like, I had to say something. Like, I had to. I just had to. And I really needed it. Like, I needed it in that moment to be reminded that, like, I'm on the right path. And, you know, as much as society might tell me that I'm ugly or that I'm too weird and unusual and unconventionally looking and, like, I don't fit the standards or whatever, like, I'm doing something right. Okay, somebody, some soul is feeling it. Somebody is seeing it. And he saw it and he said something. So, like, this is your little reminder. First of all, we should not be afraid to lift each other up, and we should not be afraid to say something, especially when we see, like, good energy from each other as Black women. We should definitely keep doing that, okay? And yeah, we should just, I don't know. We should just keep doing that for each other, because we never know when we need it. And sometimes I feel like I do become invisible and people can't see me beyond my Blackness and my womanhood. I feel like sometimes it's like a cloak and people are just like, oh, she's a Black woman. And I feel like people kind of just like write me off as a human being, and don't see like my soul and like the value that I bring to this earth, you know? But there's strength in being a Black woman. Like, it's not a freaking cloak. It's not a blanket. It's not a blanket statement. Like, Black woman is not a blanket statement. Black woman is not something that should just be seen as like one definitive thing. Like, I am not one definitive thing. I am so many things. And there's so much power within me as a human being. And I feel like people just don't remember that enough and don't say that enough. So I'm gonna be the first to say it. If I'm the first to say it, shoot. Black woman is not definitive. It's powerful in many freaking ways. And I don't know. It's got a lot of layers and it's got a lot of textures. Onions have layers, ogres have layers, Black women have layers. Oh my gosh, I did not just quote from Shrek. I was trying to be deep. And I just went off the deep end. I went off the deep end. But yeah, I want to do the same thing for you guys that man did for me. I want to be like a voice to tell you that you're not invisible, a voice to tell you that you're not what other people perceive you as. Like, you are who you're creating yourself to be. You are not who other people are creating you to be. You are not lost. You are not looking for yourself, okay? You are, if you're a Black woman, you are a Black woman that is not defined by how America sees a Black woman, how the United Kingdom sees a Black woman, how wherever you live sees a Black woman. You define yourself, and you can be whoever you want to be, and you can do whatever you want to do. And your soul has so much more value than people see it as. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's like, if you as a Black woman were to put your soul on a scale, it would be so much more than what somebody would weigh it as. Ugh, gosh, I feel like I'm rambling at this point. I feel like half my brain is mucus. But I hope that made sense. Yeah, I want to be that voice in the darkness that's just screaming for you all and like fighting for you all and fighting for myself and screaming for myself. Like, be different. Be who you are. Like, it's okay to look the way you look. It's okay, like, to go out and not have your edges done. It's okay to not be the best dressed thing in the room. It's okay for your hair to be your hair. Like, I've had to embrace that so much, especially within the past few weeks. Like, the other day, I went to the beach with my friends. My friends are not Black women. So their hair doesn't do what my hair does. You know what I'm saying? So I went and I swam in the ocean. and I got out and I let my hair air dry. And, you know, usually as a black woman, the first thing we gotta do as soon as we get our hair wet is wash it. We're like, oh, gotta wash it. Gotta go home and wash it. But I was like, no, I'm gonna let my hair just do my hair. Like, I'm gonna let it do what it do. I'm gonna let it have the freaking ocean water in it for a little while. I'm gonna rinse it out with some water and keep it pushing for the rest of the day, okay? And the next day I did wash it because I like to take care of my hair, but it's not to say that, like, I am less than or I'm ugly or whatever the case may be for letting my hair just be, for not feeling like I need to wash it right that moment, for not feeling like I needed to slather a bunch of freaking edge control on it, for not feeling like I needed to pull it all back and, like, make it look more tame and presentable. Like, and I understand that not everyone has the privilege of being able to just walk around however they want to look, you know, as a black woman in their areas. And I understand that sometimes it's a thing of, like, safety and security and comfortability. But at the same time, like, it's our freaking right. It's our God-given, birth-given right to walk around with our hair the way our hair just looks naturally. To not feel like we have to wear a wig every freaking day. To not feel like we have to beat our face every freaking day. To not feel like we have to look like a 10 all the time. Like, do y'all see how other races of women walk around? Like, the amount of pressure that we as black women put on ourselves and put on each other to get dressed up and look presentable and look good all the freaking time is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it takes power away from who we are naturally. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying there's something bad about wanting to dress up. If you want to dress up and you want to beat your face and you want to look cute all the time, that's on you. But I'm saying don't pressure other black women to feel like they have to do the same thing. And don't pressure yourself to feel like you have to do that if you don't want to. You know? I feel like in my own experience, black women would pressure me to appear a certain way, and, like, show up a certain way. And sometimes it's a good thing, and sometimes it's just like, dang, just, like, let me be. Let me be. Like, my grandma, for the longest time, she did not like the fact that I did not have relaxed hair, okay? She used to be the one to relax my hair. For years, she would relax my hair. And there was just a certain point in middle school where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. That's not something that I want for myself anymore. I don't want to put the chemicals in my head. I don't want my hair to be straight. I want to see what my hair can do on its own. And now it's a beautiful freaking afro. And now she's like, oh, Kayla, your hair is so thick and beautiful and blah, blah, blah. Now she supports me in it. But it took me making myself a little bit uncomfortable in the moment and, like, not looking super put together and super, like, amazing in the moment. And it took me not having my hair, I don't know, be, like, accepted by everyone for me to find the beauty in it and for others to find the beauty in it. And I think that's just something that, like, I don't know, that's just, like, one of the most valuable lessons that I've learned in my life. And it's just something that I apply to, like, most other things. Like, sometimes people aren't gonna amen you, sometimes people aren't gonna approve of you, and you just have to know that you are naturally powerful, you are naturally beautiful, and you don't have to change yourself for anyone, and you don't have to fit any norms, especially the norms of other black people, because other black people sometimes have such an oppressed mindset. They just feel like they have to conform to whatever the white people say to do and whatever the white people say to look like in order to survive. And we're not in the survival mindset. We're not in the oppressed mindset anymore, hun. Like, we're past that. We are showing up as ourselves. We are dressing how we want to dress. We're looking how we want to look. And that's the kind of blueprint that I want to put down for my kids, my grandkids, future generations. I don't want them to feel the way that I felt when I decided to have my hair natural and as an afro. I don't want them to feel like that's not possible for them. I don't want them to feel like they can't wake up in the morning and shake their hair out like everybody else in the world does and leave and get out the door, I don't want them to feel like they have to put on a wig. I don't want them to feel like any of that. I don't want them to feel like they have to have a tape to be an attractive man. Like, I don't want them to feel that way at all. I want them to feel 100% comfortable in their skin. So it's just, I don't know. It takes work and it takes time to love yourself in that way and to see your power. But I want to be the person to tell you that you have it. So yeah, that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can always share it with a friend. You can review it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Like I said before, hit me up on my socials if you want to talk about it. Or go to the podcast Instagram. It's at Creative Podcast. And yeah, I will talk to you all in the next one. Don't be a stranger. And I'll see you on the flip side. Bye.